you went from playing alongside like these legends in the NFL to selling your Super Bowl ring, right? Just to be able to make ends meet.
Give him the ring, he inspects it, he gives me a thing of cash, and I'm like, dude, I worked so hard to get, like, very few guys get a ring. If you as a man are not tapped into your own emotions and feelings, you are kidding yourself if you think you're going to go move these other men. Most men live in quiet desperation. They do. They're not really happy. They're not really getting what they want, but they put the smile on for social media.
When it comes to President Trump and all the, the hate that comes around and all that, you got to meet him, right? Like
President Trump is.
I can see the enemy approaching the battleground. Hear the drums pound like a thunder sound loud. I gather up my crowd to prepare them for what's coming. We've been summoned.
What's going on? Welcome to Alpha Dad Consulting, a show where we focus on helping dads become better family leaders. I'm your host, Vidal, and today we're going to have a powerful conversation around what it means to win in every area of your life. Look, if you're a dad who's feeling stuck, stressed, overwhelmed, or just unsure of how to step into your power as sort of that leader, right? I think this conversation is going to serve you. And today, man, I'm excited because I invited a special guest who is a man who really understands and knows what it means to win, to lose, and to rise again. And he is a global keynote speaker, a results-focused high-performance coach with over 150 week-long immersion events under his belt, a former NFL Super Bowl champion who played for the New England Patriots, the host of the Game Changer podcast with over 600 episodes and over 2 million downloads, the author of 2 powerful books, Winning After the Game and his soon-to-be-released Winning is the Game. He's also a co-founder and co-owner of Elite Performance Prep Academy that's changing the way we provide education to our children. But on top of all of that, he is a devoted husband and father who is a family leader through and through. I want to welcome to the show, Mr. Setema Gali. How are you, brother?
My brother, Vidal, thank you so much. What an honor. What? Thank you so much, man. I'm grateful to be here, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah, brother. Me too, man. I've been, ever since Matt introduced us, I'm like, man, Matt, dude, this is, I've been like thanking him, like, dude, thank you so much. This is awesome, brother. So I want to start the conversation off because, I talk to, in what I'm doing here, building a men's group, building this podcast, a YouTube channel, all these things, and, around family leadership and helping dads around all aspects of family, right? Marriage and fatherhood and just their own mindset. The conversation that comes up a lot is they have a problem with lacking purpose, right? Like they don't know what they're meant to do in this world, and they walk around with this lack of purpose. So they kind of settle for this life of maybe, for lack of a better word, I can say mediocrity, or just a life of just, where they're not necessarily happy or fulfilled, and they don't know what to do, right? And when I look at a man like yourself that has literally all the accolades I just listed out, like you've built all of that, like you've done all of that yourself. And when I look at you on stages, on podcasts, on, on the socials, like everywhere, you always have a presence and a certainty in which, like, there's no doubt in my mind that you are on your purpose, that you're fulfilling what you're meant to do. Right. And what I would like to know from you is just kind of get that origin story, man, of where that came from. Did that clarity of purpose just all of a sudden, like one day you woke up and it was like, hey, there it is? Or was it something that was developed over a series of experiences in time?
So, first of all, I'm going to go back. Age 14, had a conversion to Jesus Christ. So I had a conversion, through prayer and scripture. I'm like, okay, first kind of milestones. Because then I started to kind of understand who I was as a son of God. Like, okay, whether you believe in God or not, I was like, for me, it really resonated that I was a child of God. Second kind of turning point, I'm 19 years old. I'm serving a mission for my church, and I read this book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And that book just rocked my world. I'm like, there were so many truths and resonation and things that aligned. And I remember thinking, I want to inspire people the way that Covey has inspired me. Like, I want to write a book and I want to do these things. And so that was big. Fast forward to age 30. I'm living in a 6,000 square foot home. I've got lots of money, cars, My oldest son, who's 18 now, was just a baby on my chest. I'm doing mortgages and real estate, lots of money. And I'm like, this is not it. This is not it. Like, I know for sure that this is not my purpose because my soul it was out of alignment. And what I always wanted to do was, like, so I go back to conversion to Christ. I was like, man, I want to help people find God. And then as a missionary, I want to inspire lives. And then up to that point, I would see speakers on stage. And I always was like, that is what I'm supposed to do. You know, some guys get geeked out about like, you know, like the X Games or football players. I did too. But anytime I'd see a speaker on stage or someone who was inspiring, I'm like, that is my calling. Like, I know that's what I'm supposed to do. So I started doing that. And, you know, we lost everything in the 2008 recession. I never lost sight of, I always felt called to be a beacon, to be a light, to be a lighthouse, to be a leader. And that has brought me to where I am today. Just this calling, right? This calling from on high, this desire in my heart. Even though 20 years ago, there was no clear courses like there are today. There was no men's groups. There was no social media like there is today. So it was a lot harder. And I just encourage anyone, if you're still unsure of what your calling is, then choose a calling and then let God guide you to the calling.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I think what I'm hearing there too is the exposure, right, that you had to all these different avenues. Because I feel like these guys that are looking for a purpose, they kind of just they think it's gonna magically just happen, right? Like it's just gonna fall in their lap, or they're gonna wake up one day and just get a revelation from God, like, oh, this is it. Like you mentioned this, you were at a speaker's event, or you were at an event, you saw a speaker, and you're like, oh snaps, like I didn't even know this was a thing. This is something I'm resonating with something. And then you did it. Like you actually took action upon, diving into that. And then I think that's
Yes.
what the action taking is, what actually starts revealing that purpose. Right.
It's true. Yeah. You know, the map, one of my mentors says the map appears when the car is in motion. And so many times, guys, they want to sit in their home or even go to their places of worship and get on their knees and pray. And they're like, God, just tell me what to do. And I'm like, revelation, most of the times is coming when you are moving, when you are in action, when you are working a job. And I tell guys, like, every job that I had, from sales to the NFL to mortgages to real estate to door to door to recruiting, every one of those things, it added tools in my tool belt. It added skills and experience. So when the calling finally came, it's time to go do what you're supposed to do. I was 39 years old,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
I wasn't in my 20s. I was almost 40 years old. Now I'm almost 50. And so just exactly what you're saying, like you got to be in motion. You got to be in movement
Yeah.
to receive the revelation.
Yeah. And I imagine as you're exploring all these new paths that are opening up for you, what was it like with the people around you that, are believing versus not believing in these new actions or these new arenas that you're trying to play in?
Well, it's crazy because I did my first speaking event, like my own event, in 2007. And like 30 people showed up. Then I did some in 2008, kept trying to do it in 2009, 2000. I mean, I'm broke. I'm like, nobody's coming. No one's paying me. I would do an event where there's like 150 chairs and like 2 people show up. And I start just spitting and sweating. Let's go. And I'm like, what am I doing? I had no idea what I was doing. You know, it's amazing because it's like the path to the prize is filled with so much pain and obstacle, but that's how you get better. And I'm so grateful for all the challenges I've had. Because again, today I get paid to speak. I get paid to coach. I get paid to mentor. I love my life. I love my lifestyle. It doesn't mean it's easy. Even when you know your purpose, it doesn't make it any easier. But man, it is fulfilling. It is meaningful. It's amazing.
That's awesome, man. And I resonate with that a lot, with the skill stacking of all the different things that you tried, right? Because yeah, I'm 37 now, right? And I look back through my life right now and I see like even jobs that I worked where I was like, man, I was so miserable working there, but there was one skill that I picked up there, right? Like it was a customer service job and just treating people, learning how to communicate. There's a skill that was adapted there. I worked for Apple for about 10 years, and as a trainer. So I was teaching, I was teaching people how to use tech and how to edit videos and how to produce music and all this stuff. And lo and behold, these are all skills that I'm doing. Like I edit my own podcast. I can do all these things, and I didn't know that was going to happen. Right. But now I look back and I see that through line, man. And you're absolutely right. It's like, it's almost like there's this divine intervention happening where it's like God's preparing you for these things, and he knows like, okay, you want to go here, man, but look, you need to stack this skill right now, and you're going to need to be here for just a little bit. And once you're ready, then you're going to see it.
Well, I love what you're sharing, man. I hope everyone's like listening to you. The jobs you're supposed to take, you will not usually like, but it gets you ready. It gives you skills. It gives you experience. It gives you network. And I mean, all the jobs that I had, I remember the last job that I had before I started doing what I do now. I mean, it was like 100% commission. So if you don't sell, you don't eat, then you go home. So I'm doing door to door sales. And I was like, and I prayed, I was like, God, like, I need to get out of this hole. I got to get out of this hole. And it was door to door. And I'm like, what? I do not want to go door to door. I do not want to live in apartments. I do not want to go in hotels. I want to knock 6 days a week for half of the year. I was like, are you serious? And I did that for 3 full years, man. And I loved it. Like, it changed my world. It changed my life. It changed my bank account. And again, just to reiterate what's been said, guys, if you're listening to this, like, whatever job you're in, it's like a video game. You need to win that job and win that level so you can level up to the next level, but you gotta go all in on the current job you're in right now.
I believe in that a lot, especially now looking back, right? Like hindsight's always 2020. You look back and you're like, okay, I see it now. I see the purpose behind it. I want to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl champion thing, like the NFL and all that, man, because this is something that like, I know you've talked about this in many speeches, and you've talked about this in your book. But you went from playing alongside like these legends in the NFL to selling your Super Bowl ring, right? Just to be able to make ends meet. And I know you told this story, but what I wanted to know is like, what did that moment teach you about sort of the identity and the resilience that you have?
Oh man, I cried, man. Like, I was so depressed. Like, I'm going to the airport to get on a plane to go to New York, and I got my Super Bowl ring in hand. And I get off the plane and I meet him, just meet him there in the airport and give him the ring. He inspects it. He gives me a thing of cash, and I'm like, dude, I worked so hard to get, like, very few guys get a ring every year. And for me, I learned that number one, I will do whatever it takes. Like, I have no shame. If I got to go sell whatever I got to put food on the table, I'll do that. But the other thing was, from every obstacle comes an opportunity. And I told no one about selling the ring. I lied for 4 years. I was just so embarrassed. And when I finally was like, sold my Super Bowl ring, guys, dudes were balling. They're like, what? I'm like, I had to do it. And my mom was upset. She's like, why didn't you just ask me? I'm like, because my pride. I'm a prideful. Guys don't want to admit that they're down and out. So for me, again, I just learning resilience. And look, it's a ring. I've offered to buy it back. He still won't sell it to me. I talk to him like once a year. My boys have never seen my boys have never seen my Super Bowl ring. They've never seen it. And so one day I'll get it back. Though I'm confident about that. No question about it.
That pride, man. Like, and one thing you mentioned there about, when your mom was offering help, right? Or why didn't you come to me and that kind of thing. And,
Yeah.
man, how have you, throughout this time, like now that you're coaching men through these kinds of things, and not only men, but women too, and everybody that, removing sort of that pride and that ego, how have you been able to sort of combat that as well? Because I know that I think there's a part of pride that's a good thing, right? Like that there's a driver there. But then there's that other part of pride where it keeps us from asking for help in really true times of need, right? And then we put ourselves in situations.
Total
Ego.
ego.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was just wondering, how do you balance that, and how do you combat that?
So, I really believe that when you have like pride in yourself, and if you use it in that context, you
Yeah.
should have pride in yourself. You should take pride in how you dress and being fit and
Yeah.
being in tune with God, and take pride in your family and your values and your mission. But when it comes to ego, right, is an acronym for edging God out.
Oh,
And
love that.
Ego just means it's like we don't need anyone's help. We're afraid of what we look like. And for me, it's like just be humble. And the biggest thing is stop lying, tell the truth.
Mm,
And that was it.
yeah,
Had I just not lied and went to my mom and dad and said, "Hey, dude, we're struggling. I need some cash," they would have lent me the money.
absolutely. Yeah.
But instead, my ego, as you got, it just I did not want to appear a certain way, so I sold it. And my mom, my dad was like, "Hey," and I think back now, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh," I could see one of my sons doing the same thing. Like, "Well, Dad, I want to ask you for help." I'm like, so now I'm like, "Sons, if you ever need anything, just come ask." And can we have rules in our home with like just candid, open conversations, truthful, real, authentic, vulnerable conversations? Because I was afraid to do that. Listen, gee, had I just done that, I don't sell the ring. But I was too afraid. I was a liar. I wasn't telling the truth about where I was. And again, stop lying, tell the truth makes a big difference.
Yeah, man, that complete honesty, man, of just coming clean, right? And just, man, yeah. And you're right. I love that acronym, kind of ego edging God out, because that's so accurate, man. Like that's exactly what it is, right? It makes me think also of the times where, when things are going pretty good in one's life, the last person we think of is God's, right? Like we put him all the way in the back when things are going good, right? And then when things are going bad and everything's going to, hell in a handbasket, right? Like
He's at the
it's
top
like
of the list.
he's at the top of the list. He goes all of a sudden, hey, I gotta turn to you. I gotta pray. I need prayer. I need this and that, and it's like, man, why do we do that, right? And it's that, man, edging God out, ego. Yeah,
And it's just like, if one can just choose to be humble versus being compelled to be humble, if
yeah,
one can remember from whence our blessings have come and remember the sacrifice of our parents and ancestors and remember, right? Remember. Now I'm a lot better because humility is just admitting if you're wrong, telling the truth, being more focused and concerned about what is right rather than who is right. And it's just not having to think about it. Like, if I need help, I gotta ask for help. If I was wrong with my kids and I made a mistake, I gotta apologize to my children, to my business partner, to my wife, to my employees, or whoever. Like there is no room in the kingdom for ego. It's just not.
no, yeah, and sometimes and I know I've made this mistake too, where we look at traits like humility, right, or being humble as like a weakness, especially as a man, right? You look at it as something weak, or being vulnerable,
Correct.
right? When it's, I heard, are you familiar with a man by the name of Jason Wilson? He has he's
Not.
kind of you might have seen some stuff of him. He's been kind of popping off a little bit right now with a new book that he just released. But one of the things that his explanation of emotions is kind of an interesting thing, because he describes what's called, instead of like an alpha man or anything like that, it's more like a comprehensive man, right? That understands. He says that it's almost like men are operating. If you think about a crayon box with 64 crayons, right? And each one of those crayons represents an emotion, so anger, happiness, whatever it is. He says men are kind of operating with like 8 of those, right? And women have like this wide spectrum of the different colors. It's like, hand me, red versus maroon, right? Like we know red. We're like, okay, yeah, this is red, but it's like maroon. Like, oh, this is a very specific kind of, gradient style of red and all that. So I like that analogy that he explains it, and I think when we figure that out, that emotions aren't necessarily a bad thing. They're more like indicators. They're ways, because you think anger, and most of the times, like that's a default emotion that a lot of us have, right? Like this anger, especially men. And you think about it in a context of like, hey, if somebody's breaking into your house and gonna harm your family, I want to be freaking angry, right? Like I want to use that anger, because that anger brings a certain, savagery about yourself as a man, an aggressiveness that you need, and you want to tap into that in that moment, right? But when your wife says something that maybe ticks you off, it's probably not the best time to get angry. You know what I mean? Like it's a different crayon, a different emotion that you'll need. So yeah, it's just it's the mastering of that, man, and figuring that out is such a key part of this path, right?
I love that. I love the analogy because one way that we talk about it is I always use the word benevolent alpha. Like just being a benevolent alpha, being a loving leader. There's a time for being direct and even dominant. Then there's a time to be a great follower and submissive. And then it's just knowing, like, one of the questions I love for men is like, who do I need to be right now? I'm going to deal with a 5-year-old very different than I'm going to deal with a 14-year-old daughter or niece versus different, but from a 21-year-old son versus a 35-year-old employee. Like my way of being is not going to be the same. Church Setema, very different from football on the field Setema, very different from in the gym Setema, getting ready to squat 400 or 500 pounds versus I'm going to go teach a class about Jesus Christ on a Sunday afternoon. So I really believe like men have to be able to, again, just tap into, in the example you used, the different crap, the different colors, the different emotions, and who do I need to be so that I could serve these people at the highest levels? And I'm with you. There's a time to be a savage. We call it the dog. Like you better learn how to access the dog, right? DAWG. Because if you try to step on the football field and you're trying to be like Sunday September, like, I'm gonna go and worship. I'm like, you're about to get your butt kicked. Like you
this
will
is
get ran through.
this is
It'll
not the
work.
turn the other cheek Satemo right now.
This is
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
this is like I'm gonna step on your face, step on your throat, and apply pressure.
Yes.
And most of the times we don't need that. But in the
Yeah.
gym, you need that sometimes when you're working and you're in a high stakes environment, you gotta access that dog.
Yeah.
But most times as a father, as a husband, man, be loving, be kind, be a great listener, be quiet and listen and observe and then serve from that vantage point.
I love that, man. I personally, honestly, I have to thank you for something because um almost over 2 years ago now that you went, I think that you were on that Apogee mentor call with Matt. And that's where I first became aware of you and your work. And there was a question that was asked of you on that call, and I'll never forget it. They were asking you about speaking and what it takes to be a good speaker, right? And the response you gave was, "Can you move me?" That was the question that you posed, and ever since you said that, man, it's resonated with me so much that every time that I get an opportunity to speak, I think about that phrase in my head. I'm like, man, can I move them, right? Like, can I say something inspirational? Can I say something that's gonna resonate with? So can I tell a story that's gonna actually add value to the people around me? So I just want to personally thank you for that because that's such
You
a
got it.
yeah, man. That's such a powerful thing, a powerful paradigm to have when you're going into an arena of speaking, and like whether it's a podcast, a show, YouTube, whatever
Yeah.
it is, right? So yeah,
Well,
man.
we have I have an acronym. I love acronyms. So
Yeah,
I call it MTLI. MTLI.
MTLI.
Can I move, touch, lift, inspire? That's the game. If I can move, touch, lift, and inspire, if I can move their soul, right? If I can lift their heart, or move, if I can touch their heart, if I can lift like their spirit, if I can inspire their way of being MTLIs, move, touch, lift, inspire. And again, there's two stories. And if you as a man are not tapped into your own emotions and feelings,
Yeah.
you are kidding yourself if you think you're going to go move these other men.
Mm,
This is why, like, I am emotional. I tap into my emotional side because in order to get others to feel, you got to feel first. And I mean, I was just in the gym. I'm here in the Dragon's Den right now, and I'm lifting, and I'm literally like, I'm in tears
wow.
because I'm doing this. I'm doing shoulder presses, and I had this thought about when I used to live in California, and my boys. We moved there in 2015, so my youngest was 3 years old. He was 3. So
Wow.
they were 3, 6, and 9. Now they are 13, 15, and 13, 16, and going to be 19. Like,
Wow.
we're 10 years later.
Yeah.
And I'm lifting and I'm crying in the gym because I'm listening to a song that we used to listen to in California. And I thought back to, gosh, my boys were so dependent on me, right?
Yeah.
We'd go to In-N-Out, we'd go swimming. I drove them everywhere. Now, two of my boys drive, they go do their own thing. And I'm like, God, young men. And so again, I tapped into my emotion. I'm just like, I'm lifting, I'm crying in the gym, and I'm feeling something. I'm feeling this thing. So for the men out there, if you want to move, touch, lift, and inspire people, you better move, touch, lift, and inspire yourself, and be moved, touched, lifted, and inspired by other people.
I love that, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Now I have to thank you for that one. You just gave me a new one right now. You gave me the whole complete formula. I only had that one part of the equation there. So leaning into the coaching side, brother, I would say that the traits of a coach and like the skill to coach people is something that is a necessary skills across all, like not just coaching with clients that are paying you, but also coaching your family, right? Coaching your kids and coaching people in your community, other men, whatever it is. And there's one thing, Coach Kevin, Kevin Wazin, right? And he's told me stories about how you guys met and being like back in the Wake Up Warrior days and all that, right?
Yeah.
But one of the things he kind of exposed us to, man, he was giving us kind of a talk on the word coach and defining what a coach is. And he was looking it up and showed us the definition, and it's a horse-drawn carriage, right? Like that's what it is. Essentially a vehicle, a horse-drawn carriage. And we were like, what the heck? Like a horse-drawn carriage. And as he explained it so brilliantly, he was like, man, yeah, it's essentially a vehicle that's taking you from point A to point B, man, where you are to where you want to go, right? And
Yeah, absolutely.
and as coaches, right, we come in and I think it's very easy to, not very easy, but I'll say it's a little less work to find out where somebody is. Like you can ask a series of questions to kind of find out where somebody is, but it's very difficult for them to figure out where they want to go. Like, what do they actually want, right? To help them get there. And one of the phrases that you have is that, the outcome that you promise is like you help people get what they want and have it all, right? So from a coaching perspective, I'd like to kind of understand how do you get them to that point of having it all? How do you define that? Is it across these verticals that you're talking about, like the spiritual, financial, and
Yeah.
all that? Yeah.
So we talk about physical, spiritual, relational, financial. Physicals, hey, like you don't have to look like Mr. Olympia or a professional athlete, but you do need to be able to protect yourself, feel proud of yourself, like be in shape and have your body be a weapon, a temple, a vessel, not like some anchor that drags you. So everyone has a different metric and a measuring platform. Spiritually, are you in tune with God? Are you in tune with your purpose? Is there peace and harmony in your life? Relationally, are you good with your spouse? Are you good with your children? Are you great with your partner, your spouse, your lover? Are you great with your children? Like, is there communication and understanding and love and forgiveness, knowing that people are going to make mistakes all the time? And then, of course, financially, are you trapped by the job, or do you have some type of time freedom? So when we talk about physical, spiritual, relational, financial, it's like, look, you can have it all, you just can't do it all, and you got to pick and choose your battles of this is what I want, and most people think they want way up here, like they just I want this much. Then when they look at the price it takes to get that, they're like, I don't want to pay that price. I'm like, hey, then you don't want this.
You don't want it bad
You
enough,
know,
right? Like, yeah.
yeah, it's just like, and like, that's okay.
Yep.
I'm not trying to go run a billion-dollar company. That does not do anything for me. I like what I do. I like my team. I like my people. I like my lifestyle. I like who I work with and coach. So it's not about having more, and it's not about, hey, everyone, look at me. It's, am I getting exactly what I want? And like things that we want change as we grow. So in helping people to get clear, like first and foremost, again, I go back to just stop lying. Most men lie. They lie. They lie about a lot of stuff. They just, I lie. Like, in fact, I'm here in the gym, right? My coach is right here. Man, check this out. Justin. So I hired him, and I'm like, oh, my body's not changing. What's going on? Like, that guy looks bigger. And then my coach is like, well, how many days have you eaten on point with the meal plan? I'm like, I never mind. I don't even want to ask you any questions because I was lying to myself, right? Straight up. And when you just tell the truth,
Yeah.
like so transparent, this is what I want. This is why it matters. I'm sick and tired. Like most people, they kind of cover up the mediocre life that they have. And, it's like Henry David Thoreau says, most men live in quiet desperation. They do. They're not really happy. They're not really getting what they want, but they put the smile on for social media. And if most men are honest, they could say, hey, I don't like what I'm doing. It's time to change. And so that's the work I do with men.
And you know what I encounter too with talking with men is that they get into this mindset of, because now I have a family, right? Because now I have a wife and I have to provide and all that. Now I can't pursue my own dreams and my own goals and my own aspirations, because now it's all about them, and putting them at the forefront makes them the hero, like makes him the hero, right? Like he's like the good guy because of that. And as I've gone through my own personal development journey as well, my perspective on that has shifted. And I believe you might agree with this, is that it's like, man, the best way to show them to go after their dreams is to do it yourself. It's to show them that, hey, man, like I'm going to rock with the family, with the wife and all that. And I'm still going to go after it. And they're going to get to see dad go after it. And they're going to see dad fail. And they're going to see dad get back up and do it again, and figure it out. And that's I think that's leadership, right? Like you go first, you show them by example. And it's such a different mentality, man. And it took me a while to even tap into that, and now that I have, I just feel there's a liberation that comes with that, where you're like, wow, like there's limitless potential ahead of me, right? Versus looking back. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Don't tell your kids, show your kids.
Yes, sir.
Like show your kids. So I'm doing this bodybuilding show, right? I'm about 14 and a half weeks out.
Wow.
And my boys, they're like, Dad, we can see. Like, they're like, they come touch my arms and, whoa. Like, you can't tell your kids, go get your dreams, when you got, your belly over your belt and you can't walk up a flight of stairs and you're not providing the way you want to provide. I'm like, get out of here. So the best thing a man can do is get your body in shape, get spiritually connected, take care of your wife and kids, handle your business as a provider, and handle it, and pay the price early on. Because if you wait till later, dude, it takes more time, it's more expensive, it's more costly. So pay the piper early in life when the kids are young. Develop those skills, work like a dog, pay the price. And I'm telling you, you said it head on, man. Like, go do it. Go show your kids. Don't just tell them.
Yeah, it's a very different way to lead your family, man. Instead of just being that boss, right? Like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like, no, like show them.
And a lot of parents say, do what I say, not what I do. I'm like, no, do what I do.
Yeah, do what I do.
Like match my energy. Go do what I do. My boys know we go to the gym, we go hiking, we clean the house. I'm always like, look. Last night, good example. We had a boys' night out. I took the boys out, came home about 9:45, and their mom was asleep already. So we said our family prayer, did our gratitude. I'm like, hey, mom's not waking up to a dirty kitchen. Who's got dishes? Who's got fun? And it took 30 minutes. They were like playing around, cleaning the house. But my boys know.
That's awesome.
We, as the men, we take care of mama. We take care of each other. We take care of ourselves. We take care of our homes. Trash is out. Dishes are clean. Countertops, it's just the shoes are straightened up. We got 1,000 pairs of shoes in the house.
Yeah.
And it feels good to just show the boys, this is how a man handles his business. Watch what I do and then listen to what I say. But more importantly, watch how I live.
Yeah. I love that, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, brother, I want to shift gears a little bit here, because one of the things that I noticed, especially right now during this new presidential administration, like this new administration has come in, I've seen your involvement with a little bit on the political scene, man. And I saw you helping, like campaigning with the Tulsi and or helping. I saw you do like an interview with her, and then also RFK Jr. And then you got to meet President Trump. Like, this whole experience, like you've gained to meet all these different types of leaders, right? And man, when it comes to President Trump and all the hate that comes around and all that, right? And I'm sure you've experienced it. I'm sure when you started posting things like that, you got hate and you got I think I saw even some of that in some of the comments when I was seeing some of the posts, right?
Yeah.
And I look back, man, to 2016 when he was running, he won the first time. and then in 2020 when he's going again, right, in 2024. But one of the things that I've always done is that when I see a popular train of thought, when so many people in the world are leaning towards like, hey, let's hate this guy because of X and Y reasons, right? I'm the kind of guy that I'll step back and be like, wait, why? Like, why are we
Yeah.
why are we spitting so much hate? Like, what's the reason, right? And I'm looking at Trump and I'm seeing like this guy was a billionaire. Okay, I mean he's a multi-billionaire, right? Like he's already kind of retirement age. Like he could just chill on a beach.
He does not need this.
He could just chill on a beach and be completely good. And prior to him running, right, he was pretty decently liked. Like I mean, you see him in like rap music videos and
movies. He was loved. He was beloved.
He was loved. And then the second he runs, and he's running for the Republican Party versus the Democratic Party, all of a sudden there's this shift in the perception of him, and he's this evil, tyrannical, like Nazi, like every name that you can think of. And I'm going to myself, I'm like, why do they hate this guy so much, man? Like, and you know, and it's this and it just made me realize, man, like this is a man that goes into office, and I'm not saying he's a perfect man, right? Like, and it's not like I agree with everything he does and everything, but I looked at it objectively. We're talking about truth, right? I looked at it objectively, and I'm like, man, I think, and this is my personal opinion, this is a man that's a billionaire who really entered into this for actual reasons that he believes in, because he has no other reason to be in there, because he can't be bought. No one can come and give him money and say, hey, Trump, here's another $50 million for whatever. Dude, like his hotel's making $50 million, you know, every year or whatever, or probably every month, right? And it's like, why? He doesn't need the money. And I looked at like, you know, looking at facts and truth again, right? A lot of other candidates, whether it's Democrat, even some Republican, their net worth grew after their presidency, right? Like but Trump,
crooked. They're all most of them are crooked because you enter into public service, you gain a 7-8 figure net worth, and then Trump's went down.
Yep.
Same with Tulsi. Tulsi she did not become wealthy like many of the other people who went in at the same time. So it tells you something, exactly what you said. This man loves our country. He loves God. He loves what is right. And he is doing everything he can to shift the deep state politics that have been suppressing the American people for so long.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that, and I'm seeing it right now. Like, I mean, he's only a couple months in, right, and all these executive orders and all these things he's doing, man. And even with like Doge and like the you know, Elon Musk and all these things he's discovering, man. All this money we were funding to all these different causes that had nothing to do. I think he just discovered
fraudulent.
Fraudulent,
pure
fraud, man. And it's such a turning point, I think, you know. But what I wanted to ask you, sorry for the long-winded thing, I just kind of wanted to share that conversation with you. But what I wanted to ask you is you got to meet him, right? Like, and he strikes me as a person that, you know, from a leadership perspective, from one leader to another leader, as you see him enter the room, he strikes me as a person that has a certain presence about him. You know, when he enters a room, and there's a certain amount of respect for a leader like that. Like, he has that strong leader perspective, and I'm just wondering if that was true of your meeting with him.
I'm gonna put it this way: he is everything that people say positive. He is genuine. When I met him and took some pictures with him, he was so genuine. He's like, and you know, he was like in awe. He was like, whoa. He was grabbing my shoulders and arms.
That's
he's like,
funny.
wow, look at you. You are impressive. And he's like, how are you doing? How is your family? I'm like, President Trump, we are so good. And I appreciate it. He's like, fantastic. He's like, man, keep up the great work. So sincere.
Wow.
Now, I know like politicians and people can put it, but the feeling I got was this man cares. Now, I also, because of the campaign, I'm meeting members of his team who were in the first term with him.
Oh,
and they're back for the second time, right? And they all say the same thing. He is so genuine. He is the hardest worker. He cares so much about his people. He always makes sure everyone is fed and taken care of when they have meetings. First one up, last one to leave. Like, dude, this dude's a grinder, man. Like, pure grinder. So everything I heard from people on his team, it was all positive. And again, the little bit of time that I had with him, I'm like, This man knows like his purpose, and
Yeah.
it is God and America first, not people's pockets.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what really kind of gravitated me towards that as well is that he's not really a politician. You know, he's a businessman
He's a
and
businessman who
yeah,
cares about America.
yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I really wanted to ask you that question because I know with given the amount of experience you have just with people in general that you can read. You can read if somebody's being genuine.
You can
You could
feel
feel it.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that dude is president, that dude.
Yeah.
President Trump is genuine. It
Yeah.
was amazing the little bit of time I had with him. I thought
Yeah.
the media has done such a great job at villainizing him.
Yeah.
They have done a great job. The fact that I came back, so election night was, I think it's Tuesday.
Hmm.
I'm on a jet back Wednesday to Vegas. I'm at football practice with my 12U team. And they're like, you were with President Trump. They're like, man, how could we vote for a convicted felon? I'm like, that's the power of media.
That's the
These
power.
kids only know him as a convicted felon. I'm like, guys, let me tell you something. If it's coming from mainstream media, it is a big lie. You just got to know that. They're like, well, who do you listen to? Go to X, go to the podcasters, go to people who are on the ground because mainstream media is, again, we both know they are programmed. They're puppets.
Yeah.
They have propaganda coming down. So President Trump he really is, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
great man, great
That's
man.
that's good to hear, brother. That's good to hear. That's reassuring from somebody that talked to him. Yeah, because there's always you see sprinkled little things here, and then you get those doubts or like well, I don't really know him and this and that, right? So you get these doubts and all that. But you're absolutely right about the propaganda and the mainstream media, man. Like that's one thing we do for our own personal health in our household is we don't watch the news. We just don't.
Yeah.
We don't
See,
turn on
our
any news.
Yeah. Parents' generation, they're all about the news because
Yes,
that's
sir.
how they grew up.
Yep.
Us, we're like, if it's on the news, it's false. It's a lie.
Yeah.
So we go to social media, we go to different channels of people we trust versus the social media, the news channels, mainstream media. And
Yeah.
yeah, I told my boys, I'm like, that all propaganda stuff. So do not listen to a word they say, pure lies.
Yeah. And I think that there's very much a psychological effect there too with the fact that the biggest news channel outlets or the most popular times are like 10 at night, right? Like they're right before people go to sleep. You're watching the worst news.
Programming, pure programming, conditioning.
Yeah, and you're falling asleep with those thoughts, with the negative thought of like, oh, President Trump is this evil Nazi or whatever, right? And that's what you're falling asleep with, and you're programming your mind. You're sleeping with these thoughts, and it's like all of a sudden,
again, it's like our parents' generation. That's all they know, the news. And I'm like, who watches this crap? It's horrible. So I certainly don't watch that. And again, I'm teaching my kids, and like, nah, the news is not the news. It's called propaganda.
Yeah.
And it's called lies and it's called brainwashing. So don't watch it. I'm like, got it.
Yeah, I love my mom, man, and we still butt heads when they come over because she's like, why don't you guys ever watch the news, right? Like she's wondering why we're so weird to them that we never turn on the news, and I'm like, oh, we like a happy home, we like a peaceful, happy home. We don't need that. Yeah,
Amen.
It's interesting, man, and yeah, one thing that I think too, man, that he did that was pretty brilliant is he did go on all these podcasts, right? Like with Rogan, and like they had like 80 million, 100 million views or streams on that episode. And he's there for like 3 hours having a conversation with one of the most neutral guys, Joe Rogan, right? And I think that there's a lot of power in that. And the fact that he can just have a conversation without any teleprompter prompting him or somebody in his ear telling him what to say, what to do. But he's there just rocking it for 3 hours and then flies to wherever else he's got to go rock another speech. And you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, man, I respect that a lot.
He is genuine. He is real. It was pretty pathetic to see the opposing side running and her interview. She can't speak. She can't answer a question. She needs a teleprompter. Yeah. She was a puppet that was placed by the group, and they did a horrible job in finding. I mean, I'm grateful because President Trump's in and this country's changing.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, I appreciate you sharing that, brother. That's awesome.
You got it, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I love that you're. I love what you and Tulsi did too, man. Because Matt told me and showed me about this when you guys went out to North Carolina. during the hurricane, man, and went to go support there. That was sad to see our country not support, during that time and not fund and those seven
Well,
hundred
I learned a
dollars.
lot.
Yeah,
I learned a lot. They did not want. They wanted the federal government to take credit,
of
and the
course.
federal government was doing nothing, brother. It is corrupt. It
Yeah,
is so corrupt. Like, again, I'm on a jet with Tulsi. We're flying from city to city to city to city,
yeah,
leading up to the election night, and I'm learning. And if people really knew what was going on, they would all get behind Trump,
yeah,
because it is so corrupt. And you know, we, fortunately, we all have a voice to vote, and everyone needs to vote and step up, and they need to care enough to go to their local leaders and to speak up and to make the calls, because the worst thing that good men can do is to do nothing. That's something we know. It's like,
yeah.
so you got to step up, you got to speak up, and you got to take a stand.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that, man. You guys definitely did that. I mean, you guys I saw you out there. I saw Tim Kennedy out there. Like I saw all these people that went out there with choppers, right? Like these are all privately owned helicopters that they're sending people out there to go help and rescue people from areas that they can't get through with vehicles. Like yeah, Matt was telling me some of the stories, man, and it's crazy, but
Sad to see what was happening out there,
yeah,
but grateful for people like Tulsi.
yeah.
Again, just Tulsi was, I mean, one of the very best leaders that we have in the government right now. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, her has been interesting to watch her kind of transformation, right? And I do see her as very much like a truth seeker. Like she's really trying to objectively find out what is the truth here in this given situation. I know she
Yeah,
came from the Democrat side, and she kind of had that trans out, but she's changed a lot, man. Like you see that
yeah.
transformation of her going behind the veil and kind of seeing some of the things that you got exposed to and seeing what and understanding like
Go. In
what
fact, if
okay.
you haven't,
Yeah.
I tell people, go read her book, right, from
Yeah.
Love Country.
Mm,
You will learn, you will see, you will understand what's going on, and you will start to understand with the greater perspective
mm.
why our government is where it's at, and why our government loves war, and how they print money, and how they do these dishonest, immoral things. And again, we need real leaders in office who can put a stop to that.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Love that, brother. I want to go into a little bit of the kind of the business entrepreneur mindset that you've had, because you've built a lot of successful businesses, right? And you're still building them, you're growing them, and you said one thing too, that your dream is not to be like this billionaire that has like all these big companies. Like you're good with where you're at, because this is where you want to go and this is what you see as your businesses. What do you think is what have you seen is kind of like the common denominator that makes someone win at any business or any business endeavor that they enter into?
Couple things. Number one, you got to be humble, man. Well, it's three things. Number one, you got to be hungry. You got to want it. Like, there's no man or woman gets placed on top of the mountain. Like, you got to climb, and it takes work. So no person gets placed at the top of a company, and if you do get placed at the top of the company's going to fall. So you got to be hungry. Number two, absolutely got to be humble and teachable and coachable. The best of the best. I mean, President Trump, he has his cabinet members. He has his people that he counts on to counsel him and to make good decisions, to give him the right information. So being hungry, being humble, and then of course, there's no question, like the hustle portion. Got to work. You got to know how to work. You got to know how to work smart. You got to know how to work hard. And then you got to know how to get other people to work and to get other people to buy in. Like, it's really, to me, that simple. Yeah, there's systems and protocols, but you got to know, this is what I want. Here's how I'm going to get there. Let's go execute. Get ready for adversity and opposition. Surround yourself with mentors and great people. I'm going to just don't quit. Don't quit.
I love that, man. Cool, brother. I'm gonna hit you with the last couple questions here,
You got it.
and then so the first one, man, is one that I like to ask all of our guests here that come on is, in your opinion, man, with being a man, a husband, a father, a family leader, right? Like, what have you learned, and what has been your experience with what are the few traits, character traits or skills that make a dad a good family leader?
Hmm. It's a good question.
Mm.
Um, I would go back to number one. You got to want to be. Like, if you don't want to be a great family man, and you don't have an idea or a picture of what this looks like, and you haven't mapped that out, you'll never get there. Because there's no such thing as default, like, winning. The default is losing. The default is arriving at a destination. You're like, well, this kind of sucks. Oh, well. Winners get to a place by deliberate decision making. So you gotta want that. Another thing is just being able to be a powerful communicator. And that means not really talking. That means being the world's greatest listener. You got to listen to your kids. When your kids come and they're whining, it doesn't mean they're whiners. It means there's something uncomfortable. It's kind of like a baby when they have a bad diaper. The baby doesn't know how to communicate. They just know how to cry. So if you got teenagers who are complaining or fighting, something's off. Are they hungry? Are they thirsty? Are they tired? Do they need a nap? Do they need to vent? Do they need to be listened to? So being able to be a powerful, loving communicator is big, right? Because God, that's, as a father and as a husband, it's all communication. The ability to listen with understanding, and to listen with curiosity, and to listen to just really, what are they trying to tell me? There's got to be, like, real love. Of course, there's got to be love, right? You got to, like, wanting the best for these people, even if it means you're going to let them fail, and you're not going to save them, and you're going to let them learn the hard way. And, my boys, they take lunch to school. They don't, the first few days, I would DoorDash them. Then after that, I'm like, I ain't DoorDashing. So you don't want to get up and get lunch? You can starve. And it took them like 2 times to realize, they're like, Dad, can you send me food? It's like, no. Then I call the teacher, like, do not buy my boys food. Then they come home, I'm sorry. I was like, what did you learn? It will not save you. Like, you need to learn yourself. So from love to communication to wanting it. And then, I guess this last one for me is a big one. It's your willingness, no matter what, no matter what, to just never give up on the family, to work through it, to apologize. If they need space, give them space. Sometimes you yell at each other and then you apologize. Sometimes you say things and then you apologize, and you learn and you pray and you love together and you spend time and you put your phones down and you put your electronics away. Like, there's a lot of little things that fathers can do to build culture in their family. And again, those are some of the things that helped me and my family tremendously.
That's awesome, brother. Yeah, I wanna lean in on one little thing. There is when you were talking about your boys and how you like, well, you get to starve, and this is something that is funny because we have conversations about this with my wife, because it's such a beautiful compliment between the woman and the man, right? Like in a marriage, because the woman tends to be that nurturer, that loving, but then the dad can do that kind of thing where they can allow their children
Yeah.
to go through a little bit of suffering, right? To go through a little bit of pain for that growth, because they understand it, and they can do it in sort of maybe like a stoic way where we still
Yeah.
love them, but we can love them in just a different way, right? It's still love. It's just a little bit of a tough love. So I
Tough
appreciate
love.
that. Yeah.
Tough love.
Yeah.
You got it, man.
Yeah. A super simple example is me and my wife was giving my son a soup, right, and like a chicken soup or something like that, and she put ice cubes in them to like to lower the temp
Cool
on
it
the soup.
down.
Yeah, to cool it down. I was like, man, take those ice cubes out of there. Like, let him get his lips burned, when he's drinking the soup, just like we all do, right? Like, let's just, let him blow on the spoon of soup, let him. So it's just funny, man. All right, brother. The last question, man, is how can we support you, man? What do you got going on right now? I know you got the new book coming out. If you can tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
that, we just
the
want
new
yeah,
book, Game Changer, man, it's
yeah,
coming out. It's going to be powerful for men and women,
Mm.
young men and young women, young adults who feel called to do something,
Yeah.
who feel called to be a beacon, to be a leader. They have a calling to make a difference, to start a business, to go after their passion, but they don't know how.
Yeah.
That book comes out within the next 30 days. So, check that out. Follow me on Instagram, any of my socials, Facebook, X. And then, again, the biggest thing for me is if I can help you, just reach out, and we have different programs and courses. And I'm just grateful, brother. It's great to be on the podcast. Grateful to connect with you. I appreciate the questions, the great conversation we've had today.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate you so much. And I'll make sure to link all that stuff, in the
You
description,
got
the
it.
show notes and everything.
Yeah,
We'll get everything squared away for you, and keep you
you got
posted
it.
when the episode drops, brother. But man, truly an honor, brother. Thank you so much. We'll keep the conversation going, and yeah, I can't wait to do it again, man. We got to do it again sometime. So
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
appreciate you, brother.
1, 2, 3 actions I didn't meet. 4, 5, 6 fear and silence begin to mix. 7, 8, 9 the thought of being emotionless started taking over my mind.